Okay, I don't have a lot of time because I've got to go to work soon this morning. So I've probably got about 40 minutes. And what I really want to try and get done is, let me just crow some of this stuff out. I want to be able to basically just create a package with a lot of the work that we've done so far. I believe it or not, I actually have very little experience building packages that are consumed by other people because most of the stuff I've done has been for myself or for work. So this would be a good opportunity to dig into that. I've dealt like a little bit with rollup, but to be honest, it's not for quite some time. So I'm going to get that up and running. We'll create a new project here. What do we call it? So we want it to be something descriptive, maybe like Firebase composables. Let's go with that for now. We might change it. Firebase composables, and I'll open that in code. Next thing I'll probably do is just say like yarn init. I know a lot of people are using PNPM, but I don't really have any experience with it yet, so we'll just use yarn for now. So Firebase composables, that sounds about right. Yeah, 1.0.0. Oh, maybe I should like give it a beta tag or something like that. Yeah, let's try this again. Oh god, I really don't need that error log. Firebase composables 1.0.0, and I think what people will often do is say dot, like alpha or beta. We'll say alpha, I think. A collection of composables for dealing with Firebase. There we go. Entry point, I guess we'll make that index.js for now. We can change that later anyway. And we'll give it a repository URL. So let's say new repository. And I want to call this Firebase composables. Sweet. And what was the description I used? Yeah. Collection of composables for dealing with Firebase. We'll make this public. Add a read. Oh, we'll probably add the README ourselves at some point. No, I might as well add them in. Add it in. All right, so we'll give that a second. And there we go. So now I can go ahead and pull this in. Oh, where's that page that tells you how to set the origin and all that kind of stuff? Oh, crap. I might just delete this project and do it again. Because I usually just copy paste everything from there. Here we go. Let's just run that. All right, let's do this again. So I'm not going to include the README this time. So it looks like when you include the README, you don't get that screen that basically shows you how to get the code set up yourself. So we want this to be public, but do not add a README this time. There we go. And this is going to be the location to our repository. Author, Luke Diebold, myself. We'll stick with MIT. Private, I believe that I want that to be false. Can I just leave that as blank and it'll automatically opt it out? Yeah, it does. Okay, cool. So what next? Now that this has been initialized, we can say git init, and we can now push this existing repository. Fail to push. What have I done wrong there? Master does not match any. Source respec. Maybe I actually need to add everything I've got so far. Git add dot, git commit message, initial commit. All right, let's try running this again. I think I already added the remote, but we'll run it again anyway. Okay, I forgot to do an initial commit. That's probably the problem. All right, so give that a second. Now if I reload this, that should be working. And then I'll just come in here and say readme.md, and I'll start plugging away at that when I'm ready. All right, so that's the starter. Now, how do we get rollup set up? So if we go to installation here, looks like the usual way to do it is to do it globally. I probably already have it. No, okay, turns out I don't. Oh, this is my work computer. That'd be why. npm doesn't. Have I got an out-of-date version of Node? Oh my gosh, goodness. So, how do you update Node on Ubuntu? I don't even know. Or can I say like npm install global Node? Node version. Let's just find out what the current version of Node is. Node.js. You can probably find it on here, maybe under releases. So 17 is the current, and I've got 17. I don't know if I did before, but at least I do now. I'll quickly exit this terminal, open it again, and then we'll run a global install for rollup. All right, looks like that worked. Yeah, we got rollup. Are they errors, or is that just telling me? No, that's telling me what's available. All right, so we've got rollup ready. I've updated Node. Next thing I want to do is actually use it. And honestly, it seems like you would install rollup locally as well. Why wouldn't you? Because you don't want people to have it globally. Yeah, so I'm just going to do it anyway. Yarn add dev. I think you have to say dash dash capital D like that. And we'll just add rollup locally. Okay, so now that we've got rollup, here's an example of how you use it, but I think I would rather use a JSON file. Here we go, configuration files. And where do you put it? It's probably like .rollup.js or something like that. Here we go, rollup.config.js. So we'll go rollup.config.js. And I guess we'll follow some of what they're doing here. We'll call this our source. And usually I think you've got lib or dist, whatever people end up calling it. I think lib is what I usually see. In fact, let's come over to view composables and see what they do. Even though this isn't a massive composable library, this still might give me some sort of an idea. So packages, and let's look at, for example, their Firebase package. Use auth. Okay, it looks like that isn't the dist. So where does the... Maybe you don't end up needing a dist. No, you would, because this would all get built at some point. Let's try this again. Use auth. Yeah, I don't know where this ends up. Or maybe there's a dist inside of the packages folder. Components, core. Yeah, okay. I don't really understand. So I'm going to try Vuex ORM. That's a package that I like using. So I'll quickly check how they're doing it. So we've got source inside of here. And then I'm assuming... Oh, let's look at the rollup config. Oh, of course, you don't actually include the dist, but he calls it dist here. So let's do what Kia's doing because I trust Kia's judgment. I'm going to rename this to dist. And I can probably kind of keep this here and have a little bit of an idea of how to do things. So I'm not going to use TypeScript for now. I probably will convert it to TypeScript later on, but I don't have a lot of TypeScript experience. So he basically creates a configs array. This might actually be a much more advanced scenario that I probably... Yeah, he's doing things a little bit more manually. So that's probably not hyper relevant to what I'm doing. All right, so basically we've got bundle.js. I probably want to say output this to indexed slash... I don't know if I'd call it bundle. No, not index, sorry. What about dist slash index.js? And then in package.json, The entry, I don't know. So with the main then, is that usually supposed to be source or dist? I'm going to say dist slash, well, it would be source really, because you'd expect the person consuming this to then let their minifiers handle minifying it. But then you've got your distribution directory as well, just in case um, somebody's going to consume it in another way. Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. We'll just keep developing and see what we come up with. Doesn't need to be perfect for now anyway. So you specify what the config is. Let's just copy that for now and we'll edit bits of it. So we'll say, what do you call this? Tasks or something like that? Scripts. Yeah, that's right. And we'll have a script that is called build, which is going to run rollup config, which will be rollup.config.js. And no, we do not need a config plugin. Okay, that's what that's talking about, using a config plugin. All right, so let's travel down a little bit. Oh, cool, we've got rollup.watch as well. That'll probably come in handy. But when we're building it, we probably need to specify that it's coming from source. Okay, that's the output. So the input is source slash main.js. So let's just create a new file here, main.js. And I think I can just now say export default. I guess maybe like an object. And then we'll give it, I don't know, my function. And that just console.logs works. Something like that. And now let's just try yarn build. Entry module source main is presently using default export node, which means for CommonJS output module.exports. For many tools such module, he said output.exports to either auto or default. Otherwise, you might want to consider changing the signature of source manager. All right, so I think they're saying you probably want to do it like this, not using export default. So you could say, for example, const my function is equal to the function. What's wrong with that? Is equal to function. My function. And now I can just export it here like this, I guess. Let's see if that gets rid of that error. All right, there we go. So now that gives me dist. And yeah, it's ready to go. Now I think one of the cool things about rollup is you can export it in different ways. So you've got CJS and you've got ES as well. I don't know what most people usually do though. We could have a look at VuexORM and have a look at the different ways that it exports it. So it's got ES, ES, ES. What's going on here? So it's got production, bundler. Yeah, okay, I need to learn about what all of this means. And iffy. And CJS. Okay. I don't know which of these I need to worry about. We might just stick to CommonJS for now. Yeah, I think we'll stick to CommonJS for now, and then we can start adding them in later on because I don't really want to be worrying about this too much. So that means that I can just put my source files directly in there. What I would like to be able to do is basically start converting my project to using the result of this. So maybe like linking the package as well using yarn link or something like that. So maybe we can look into doing that. Yeah, let's do that. So let's cd into Quasar version 2, whatever it's called. Oh, what have I called it? Quasar 2 dash Firebase. So here's Quasar 2 Firebase, the project that we've been working on. I'll just close all that out. And now we can probably yarn link whatever we've called this, which is Firebase composables. Yarn link Firebase composables. Oh, first we would have to do a yarn link here. So yarn link. There we go. And then yarn link Firebase composables. Okay, so it looks like that worked. Now we've got our dist here. So let's see if we can actually use this now. I'm going to say Quasar dev. Oh, okay, it doesn't like something. It's probably got something to do with the yarn link. Let's just run yarn to see if maybe it needed to be installed. I couldn't just run the link, I had to install it too. Nope, still getting problems. We got our package.json. Is it showing up in our dependencies? Well, I think the yarn link will make the link show up here. So what did we call it? Firebase composables. There it is there. So it looks like that was linked okay. Let's yarn unlink it. I think you can do that. And see if this works, because it might be a different problem. Okay, that's weird. Quasar dev. All right, let's try deleting this. Deleting that. This is kind of like the start from scratch tactic that you can follow with Quasar. Oh, by the way, we can get rid of vvalidate. We decided not to use that in the end. So I might actually do that now. Let's do that and run yarn again. I'll get rid of vvalidate, and then let's run Quasar dev and see what happens. No, there's something funky going on. This is the right package, right? Components. Yeah, this is the right one. I don't know what this is all about. Okay, let's maybe upgrade to the newest version of Quasar. I think you can run like Quasar upgrade. That's just going to let us know. All right, now we can do the actual upgrade. So that's going to upgrade it properly for us. Give that a second to run. And now let's run Quasar dev again and see what happens. Actually, kind of think of it, I feel like this might actually be a node problem. I think I've run into this in the past. Let's try yarn dev. Yeah, I reckon this might be because we just upgraded node. I'm not sure. Honestly, I might have to do a restart. Something funky might have happened when I did that node upgrade.